when I talk about scale in this presentation, I'm going to refer to the size of something, which could be either relative size or an absolute size. And here are several aspects of scale: operational, measurement, computational, geographic, and cartographic scale. And they all mean different things. So I'm going to focus on the first two types of scale, operational and measurement, and I'm also going to cover the last three. Operational scale is the scale at which a certain process operates. It could be a biophysical process, or it could be a socioeconomic process. And this scale, this operational scale could be over space or time. Here's an example of a small scale and a large scale process in terms of fluvial processes. And fluvial refers to how rivers modify the landscape. So a small scale process would be represented by grooves or gullies on the landscape, and you could see a hill slope where water flows down and changes the landscape. In a large scale process, think about river meanders. And here's an example. When we talk about measurement scale, now we talk about the quantitative representation of information. We are the ones who choose the measurement scale, and we are often limited by the type of data collection devices that we have available, and also by our budget when we go and perform fieldwork. So again, this is the scale at which data is collected and also represented. Now, it is very important to consider the operational scale of a process when designing the sampling strategy, because here's an example. Are we able to capture the process at the measurement scale that we choose? Now, this is an example with a tide chart. So this just shows the level of water in feet over 3 days. And our operational scale would be the daily fluctuations of the tides. And we have to decide on a measurement scale that would capture the variation of the process. So are we going to sample every day? Would we be able to capture the process if we sample every day at the same time? Or do we have to sample more often? So in the case of tides, we probably need to sample at least twice a day, or maybe more often. And here are 3 other also very important aspects of scale. Computational scale refers to the constraints within our software or method of analysis. So we may be able to collect data every 15 minutes, but do we have the tools to analyze this data at every 15 minutes, or do we have to aggregate it? Geographic scale refers to the size of our study area, or to the size of the landform or feature that we may be studying. And finally, cartographic scale. This is specific for map representation, and it defines the spatial coverage. It defines the scale of the spatial coverage or the information detail presented in the map, on the map. And that's it. Thank you very much.
She had a whole minute left.
Oh, yeah.
That was good though.
Yeah. So we can give her verbal feedback for like 3 minutes or so, and we can just talk about things. So I know one of the things that I really, really liked that you did was like your first slide or back one. I really liked that overview that you gave. You told us what you were going to talk about. Like, at least for me, it helps in my mind. Like, okay, what do I know about this topic? What is this topic? It helps me be prepared to learn and to listen. So that was nice.
You can.
I like you knew what was coming up next,
so that's
and I think
what
something like
we
this
do.
might also help with that too, like kind of helps you as a presenter too. But you did a really good job of telling us what was on the slide without reading the slide too, which was really good. Like you didn't just repeat off the slide, so it was helpful. And I liked that you have the two. Oops. I like that you had those two pictures and were able to explain those processes. Those were really good examples.
And like the word fluvial, there's no definition up there, and I love that you told me, because right when I would wonder, okay, is that fluid? Does that mean fluid stuff, or what is fluvial? You said it, and like for novice learners, beginners, or like us, or me, who I haven't studied in that field, that was helpful. Yeah.
I think the transition was good too. The flow was there, I didn't find yourself stumbling on what's like, as you said, what's next. So,
Cool. Thank you very much for the positive feedback.
How did you feel? I know you said this was thing new for you.
The learning experience was preparing the slides. So these are 3-4 slides, and it took me several hours.
Yeah. It will get faster, but I feel yet. Making PowerPoints I feel like it's a really painful process, and that's usually the case, I think, whenever we really care about what we're doing and we want it to look good. But it looks really nice. You did a good job.
Thank you.
Very.